we are not used to talk about our situation because we are not taught to say things out in public. So, thank you for giving me this opportunity, Rubina, and I hope there will be less women in my situation. I hope, that women will be strong and men will be able to accept them for who they are and, help to grow together, not apart. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Good evening, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you've had a wonderful evening thus far. My name is Fatima Shama, and I am honored to be here tonight to speak on behalf of Turning Point. But what I'm going to do is ask you to just think about what you heard, and to think about how lucky so many of us are that we get to sit at these dinners and think about and reflect on our own, whether it's childhoods, marriages, how we may all go home tonight, rest well, and wake up tomorrow with food in our homes, with love in our homes, trust in our families. And that isn't the good fortune of everyone around us. For several years, I worked in the city of New York with Mayor Bloomberg, overseeing immigrant issues in New York City. And domestic violence is not unique in our community. It's an issue that plagues immigrant communities, any community across this city. Turning Point is the only organization in our region, in the city of New York, that does the incredible work that it does with Muslim families. It is the only organization, I repeat, that does this work with Muslim women, with Muslim girls, and with Muslim families. And they do it so amazingly well. I'm a board member of an organization. I'm a board member of a foundation that gives money to organizations that do work like this, and have to say that Turning Point has been very fortunate to get some funding. But what I want you to understand is that when an organization like Turning Point gets money, they get $40,000, maybe $50,000. It is simply not enough to do what they need to do to help women like Shifa, who so bravely, thank you Shifa, came up and shared her story with you. Rubina has a staff of 4, many volunteers. She could use many more, so if you're wondering what you want to do next in the fall, she could probably use your help in any number of ways. But what we could use truly is your support. I really want to call out friends that were sitting at our table from the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Shelter Rock in Manhasset, Long Island, which gave a $100,000 grant to Turning Point. Talk about the good. It's partnership, it's support like that that makes a difference, that allows us to help many more women like Shifa, many more young women in our communities who will be comfortable and brave and strong when they enter their own marriages, help us empower the families that we have so that young boys in schools that come out of homes where violence is actually witnessed can really overcome any challenges and become the great leaders that we need in our community. On your tables, on all of your tables, are cards that look like this. And so I'm going to ask you to think a little bit about how you can help. During this month of Ramadan, when we are fasting, when we are thoughtful about how our differences, how fortunate we are, but how actually our giving matters, whether it's in our own communities. And rest assured, we completely understand that for many of our own home countries, there's tremendous devastation. But the devastation, I have to tell you, is in our backyards. It is literally in our neighborhoods, and we cannot ignore that. I'm half Palestinian, my husband is Syrian, we can't bear to watch the news any longer, but I have to tell you that I visited communities across this city, and I can't bear to watch my own community in this city get destroyed. So I ask you to think about your giving tonight. I want you to understand that $50 that you contribute pays for the month's supply of a weekly women's support group. $100 pays for 20 round-trip Metro cards so that women can go to counseling and support, can attend for 10 weeks. That $250 of your support tonight allows us to cover half the cost of the annual Mecca to Manhattan Women Moving Mountains Leadership Training Program for teenage girls and young women. $500 covers the entire cost, $500. I don't know about you guys, but that's a week grocery shopping for me and my family. $500 covers the entire cost of an annual citywide Arise New York Anti-Bullying Summit. Too many of our young Muslim students in high schools across the city are plagued by people wondering who they are, where they're from, and blaming them for 9/11, right? We had a peer here tonight talking about a joke, right? Sort of putting in perspective, never forget. Never forget is the future of our children, and they have to defend themselves in the classrooms and in the halls of their schools, and quite honestly, it's not okay. It's not okay, but $500 helps us actually erase that from our children's lives, from our community's lives, from young girls' lives in our community. 100 Muslim and non-Muslim youth participated in an Interfaith Summit in August, and your support can help us make that happen. And lastly, $1,000 helps one woman and her children leave an abusive relationship and allows them to put a 1-month rent or security deposit on an apartment. If you think of anything tonight, think of how you actually can help change a family's life. How you can have another survivor like Shama stand before you next year and hopefully multiply that by many more to help them know that they don't need to be in a situation that none of us would wish upon our own. We are mothers, we are daughters, we are sisters. It is our opportunity to help pass on and pass forward how we can change lives, both of women around us, but truly in women in our communities, women in our city, and women beyond that. There are pens on your table, the cards are on your table. We welcome a one-time donation or a monthly support. Anything you give is tremendous, including your own time. I'm sure Rabina would welcome your time if you wanted to be an advisory board member, a volunteer, a board member, or anything more. Once again, to Rabina and her team, thank you for the tremendous work you do in the city of New York. Thank you.